Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the DeSantis Sof Tuck inside the waistband suede holster. Yeah, so just a little mini review. I've had this for about 10 months, something like that. So we'll just kind of be going over why I got it, what it's good at, what it's not so good at, if I recommend it. Not that my recommendation is end all be all, but yeah, like I said, I've been carrying this for about 10 months. Not daily, but at least weekly. I carry this gun more than anything else, and this is my only holster for it. So yeah, so it gets carried pretty frequently. So this was an eBay purchase. I think I got it for like 30 bucks. I believe it is still in production, so it's, eBay is not the only place you can get these. I think you can get them from their website, or probably, all the other places you can get holsters online, Midway USA, all that stuff. But it is pretty cheap. It's like 30 bucks if I didn't already say that. Yeah, I was going between this and I think Galco makes a similar one, and so does Bianchi maybe. But for one reason or another, I ended up going with the DeSantis, and it gets the job done. We'll say that. I wanted it because, if you have watched my other videos, I'm kind of like old school stuff. I like leather, so I wanted to get a leather holster for this relatively modern plastic gun. Kind of at least have a little bit of class. You know what I mean? But just so you're all good there. But yeah, wanted to have a leather holster for it, and but didn't really want to break the bank either. And I still wanted something that this gun was really. I purchased this to be kind of like a summertime, throw it in a pair of running shorts, something small, lightweight, that I don't have to have a belt on for. And so I wanted something that wasn't going to be super, bulky. Obviously, I wanted, to have it inside the waistband clip, and we'll get to that, here in a little bit too. But yeah, it's and it's when you're wearing it, it really does tuck away pretty nicely. I don't have any issues really when I'm wearing the holster. So that's one of the, I guess we'll just go into what some of the good things about it. Price, build quality, it's holding up. There's nothing really, that's, the stitching is all still in shape, or, intact, I should say. The leather quality isn't anything crazy, but you have this leather reinforced piece up here, so that the mouth of the holster doesn't close on you, when you're trying to reholster and whatnot. But that's really about where the pros end. It works, it gets the job done, but I don't know if I'd recommend this for this particular gun. And I say that because this is it's one of those holsters that is made where it's like, oh, it'll fit this gun, it'll fit that gun, it'll fit this gun and that gun, and none of the fits are ever like crazy good. It just kind of fits everything, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like, you can kind of tell, right? I mean, yes, the suede does kind of mold to the gun over time, which is kind of cool. I mean, I do like that. But you can see, this where the trigger guard would essentially come up against this stitching here, it's rounded. And Glocks, everybody knows, has the opposite. You couldn't get more squared off than this trigger guard. And so because of that, you get this gap right here, which is the trigger exposed? No, but I still don't really love that, I think, I don't know. It's not like it's unsafe, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel like this was made for this gun. I feel like the holster should sit a little bit further back and just protect a little more of the trigger guard, as well as just, I don't know, just seems like it should fit a gun better. Along with that, retention. Well, let's see here. Oh, it's actually doing a decent job right now. There you go. It's not great. you know, when it's on your body, and obviously it doesn't have a magazine in either, so that would make it a little heavier. But when it's on your person, you know, and you got a belt around it, you know, it's not going to come out. But it's on the you know, I did try it, so I did have this 365 XL here. Cool. And I don't know, I was like, you know what, it's got a rounded trigger guard and this thing's rounded, let's just see if this thing fits. And I don't quite remember if this model holster, let's see, the 106 Delta 6, I'm not sure exactly what that, you know, which one's the holster or maybe which one's the gun, or I don't know, but if it's this a hell of a lot better than it does the Glock, partially because of that rounded trigger guard, fits in there nicer, and then you get a little, you know, exposed barrel out the, you know, the end of the holster. But that right there, now that I wouldn't be too upset with if I was wanting this for a 365X. And, you know, down the road, maybe I will carry it. If I ever, this is my wife's gun, I got this for her, so I don't really carry this, but if for some reason I wanted to carry it, this is probably a holster I would use it with, because it really does work pretty well. You know, that's a much better fit. There's still a tiny bit of gappage there, but it's not too bad. But that being said, it's not bad. I just don't know if I would recommend it for this particular firearm, for the Glock 43, because the old phone died there, so we'll try this again. Really, the only last thing I want to talk about was really this clip. I'm not really a huge fan of this style of, you know, belt clip. If you're not familiar with it, the idea is the waistband of your pants rides through here, and then the belt, you know, comes around the outside of that and rides kind of down in this little hook here. And then, you know, when you go to draw, the hook, you know, catches on your belt and then doesn't pull the holster out. I don't know why people felt the need to do that, to make, like, I guess maybe it's a little more low profile because you can't see so much of the clip, you know. The only thing really showing is this. So, I mean, I guess it, you know, it kind of makes sense why somebody would like that. It just doesn't seem as, I've seen these break before, mine hasn't, but it just doesn't seem quite as, just seems like more of a possibility for, you know, for failure there. And it just takes a little bit longer to put on and off, which, you know, I guess isn't that big a deal, but to me, I still prefer just a standard, you know, clip like so. I just think that's an easier, arguably more robust design. This is my Galco Scout holster, which I really, really like. I might do a video on that too. My holster videos never really get that many views. Well, none of my videos do, but the holster ones are always at the bottom of the you know, the views. But that's all right. I like doing them. So, but anyway, that's the Sof Tuck. Decent holster, not so decent for the Glock 43, at least not in my opinion. But if you see this and you're like, oh yeah, that looks like it fits pretty good, you know, then by all means. But just kind of okay. It gets the job done. Nothing crazy. Yeah, just for 30 bucks, I don't think you'll be too disappointed. But yeah. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.